Hey YouTube! So, in the spirit of Frozen, it's very cold in Vallejo because it's December, so that's why I have this blanket. Okay, sorry, that was bad. Anyways, um, Frozen. So, a few disclaimers to begin with. So, I was actually dragged to go see this because I chaperoned my little sister. So, a reason why I mentioned that is because this is not the kind of movie that I would go see. Like the kind of movie that I would go see is like I don't know, The Avengers or horror movies like The Evil Dead. Like this is not the kind of movie that I would go see on my own. Mainly because this is not my kind of movie, and also because I'm not a Disney expert. Like Disney is something that I'm still kind of a noob at. Like I've seen a lot of Disney movies before, but I'm not the kind of person who will like analyzes this for like a living, you know. So I'm not a Disney expert. This is not a kind of movie I would go see, and also I have not read the original story, so I'm not going to draw comparisons between the two. So if you're hoping that I would mention something from the original story, like oh they didn't do that or they changed this, I'm not the guy. All right, so I'm just going to review this, what I saw, on its own merits. Um, Not gonna be biased to Disney, so I guess that's a good thing or a bad thing. Take as you will. But anyways, let's start with the review. So short review, I liked it. Okay. I know I said it's not the kind of movie I would go see, but I mean it was still pretty good. I thought it was better than Tangled. So that's my short review of Frozen. Now, if you're still here, my long review of Frozen. Frozen, I noticed as part of this trend with Disney as of late that they're making movies that's breaking from, or maybe not per se breaking from the kind of stories that they were telling before, but it's showing that Disney's becoming more self-conscious. Like they notice they know the tropes that they usually go to and these kinds of princess storylines, and I guess I don't know if they're breaking from it or they're making fun of it or they know that they know what they have done in the past. And let me explain. It either started with Princess and the Frog or Tangled, but maybe it was Princess and the Frog, but I could go check. But anyways, they're starting to do these storylines where the usual princess storyline is you have this girl who wants more in her life and she's all airy and like there's conflict and she eventually falls in love with the prince, blah blah blah. But as of late, it's they're telling different-ish stories. Like Princess and the Frog, it wasn't really a prince, it was a frog, and the princess wasn't really a princess, she was like part of the working class, and oh, of course she was white, but aside from that, Tangled Tangled was slightly different because the prince wasn't a prince. He was more of a rogue, and he also like I think he's the first person to actually question the whole Disney logic of like why is there singing, and also Rapunzel was slightly different in that even though she wanted more in her life, I feel like she was happy where she was, and that what she wanted was to just like explore. Like it's kind of difficult what I'm trying to say. Like I guess what she wanted more in life was a little bit more like focused. Like I'm not even supposed to be talking about Tango. I'm supposed to be talking about Frozen. But what you're supposed to get from that is Frozen is part of this trend of Disney making fun of itself. And I feel like they took it to the nth level in Frozen. And let me explain. Because this is actually one of my pros. The pros was okay, let's start with we're doing pros and cons now. Yeah, let's start with the easy pros. The animation was pretty. Um like I felt like it was a really good looking movie to watch. Like yeah, yeah. I mean, the character designs were pretty cool, I guess. And there's a lot of I feel like I'm gonna see a lot of Elsa Anna cosplays because I don't know, the designs were just really like really, really cool to look at. So anyways, um, and I say, even though I don't like, I mean, sorry, even though I'm not a Disney expert, I mean, the Disney formula is still pretty entertaining to watch. I mean, this is both a negative and a pro. That like you have these things where that Disney has done before, like the parents die or princess finds a prince, and it's just, I mean, you could get annoyed by that, but I mean, I wasn't annoyed, even though I've seen this before in other Disney movies. And it was also a very likable movie. Like it was just a very pleasant, like, how long was this movie? It wasn't 2 hours, but it was a very pleasant movie to sit through. Like I'm usually used to watch. I watch The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, so I'm used to being depressed by what I watch. So it was nice to see something very likable for a change. And my other pro was focused on sisterly love, but that goes in line with my first pro, which is the break from which is the self-conscious storytelling. Now, what I mean by self-conscious is because this movie actually started out very, very typical Disney. Like they were throwing it at you. Like you have these sisters, and something happens in the beginning of the movie, and well, you're watching this review, so expect spoilers. Um, the two sisters, Anna and Elsa. Elsa's the one with the snow powers. They're playing, and Elsa accidentally hits Anna, and they fear she's gonna die, so they have to wipe her memory and in order to heal her. And now Elsa is like her parents tell her not to use her powers because it could potentially hurt people. And so you kind of see where this story is going, in that you have these two sisters who have grown apart, and one has become like isolated, cold. I mean, no, I'm not even joking. Like Elsa has become cold. Yeah, okay, I guess that's what they were going for. But anyways, and Anna grew up to be like the complete opposite, like really down to earth, really like social, really fun. And I guess that makes her the main princess of this movie. Yeah, because you see her more, and I guess she goes through the most change. But I mean, I feel like this is the first movie that you could potentially say had two princesses, but that's not getting off topic. So you have these two storylines, and eventually they grow up. But the Disney formula is just really strong with at this point. Like you have the parents die. You have there's a moment where Anna's singing about, oh, she wants this. She can't wait to see her like these people she's gonna meet. She can't wait to find like love. And she eventually finds like this typical Prince Charming type character. And they actually do have this love song, and then he actually proposes to her like first day that he met her, and it was just very, very typical Disney. Like I was rolling my eyes like at the first few minutes of this movie. It wasn't. But everything after that point, that was just Disney making fun of itself, and it was just really fun to watch. Like there was this part like after Anna has this whole like, oh, she fell in love with a Prince Charming and she's gonna get married, and she's talking to the actual love interest in the movie, like this ice breaker. He's basically the Flynn Rider of the movie, and he calls her out on this. It's like, you can't fall in love with him. You just met him. Do you even know his like last name? Do you even know like have you even had dinner with him? Have met his like other family? Like he calls her out on this, and it's just a really good thing to watch because it's just they don't do that in the other Disney movies. Like they don't call out when the princesses are falling in love with a character that even though they're talking about true love, it's just they just met. And to actually be called out on this, like it to this come from a Disney movie, I've never seen that happen before. It was actually really cool. And the other breaks from the Disney storytelling is that there was also Disney, I feel like there's a lot of focus on romance. This movie was more focused on sisterly love, and um, it was very interesting actually. Like you could potentially see this movie as the main love story was between Anna and the ice dude, but reality, not reality, really though, the main relationship was the sisters, like, because they had fallen apart, and Anna was desperately trying to like bring them back together, and it was actually very interesting to watch, and it all led up to probably like the most surprising moment of the film, and I don't know if I should spoil this. Okay, props, mute this part of the video because or just stop watching because I'm gonna go into major spoiler territory. The all this focus on sisterly love actually led to this really interesting climax that I didn't see coming. There's a point where Anna gets hit with ice again, and now she has to find like like true love because true love is the only way that she could like heal herself. And there's a moment where she has to choose between saving her sister from the main villain, who I'm not gonna spoil, and the ice dude. And she has to choose between the two of them. So she's literally forced to choose between her two loves, like her love for her sister or her love for or romance with this one dude. And she chooses the sister, and that was actually what solved all the problems at the end. And it's a huge break from Disney because it's usually like the romance that like it solves everything. Here, it's family love, and I feel like that's why I feel like Frozen took this like self-conscious storytelling to the nth degree. Oh, you can put your audio back on. And I feel like that's why I mainly love Frozen because like it took the basic story that Disney usually tells and just turned it in on itself and just made fun of it. And while making fun of it, also told like a story that Disney has told, but in a different way. I guess that's the main point you can take away from Frozen. That it's still it's still very much a Disney princess movie, but it's different enough that it stands out. All right. Now, I guess I should go into cons, but the cons, there's not, I didn't actually have that many cons. Like I said, the beginning was too Disney, but that could be kind of a pro because it also led up to the whole like deviation from the norm later on. Like they established the norm in the beginning, like this is what a Disney movie usually looks like, and then next part, now we're gonna break that down. So I guess the beginning was necessary, but so it's not really a con, it's more of a, it leads to a pro, but I guess if you're just watching that portion, it could be a con. The other cons, I guess the characterizations were kind of weird. Like, they were fine, it's just the main villain was meh, the main villain kind of just comes out of nowhere. You kind of see it coming, but I mean, when it happens, it's a twist, like, oh, that was the main villain. But it's also a moment where it's like, huh, that was the main villain? And it's because like it happens like very late in the movie. And also, I guess the sister was kind of like the Elsa, not Anna. Anna was actually really well written. It was Elsa that I mean, I get that she was like scared and didn't want to hurt her sister, but there were moments where I felt like she was being a little too cold. I don't know. Like I feel like those were the only two characters I had like some problems with. Everyone else is fine. Like Anna is probably one of the most down to earth like Disney princesses. Um like if you compare Anna to someone like Belle or Aurora, like she's very like really down to earth. Like there's a song that she's singing that it sounds like a typical Disney song, but then there's moments in there that just seems out of place. Like, okay, what am I trying to say? Like when you see someone like Belle or Aurora, they're very like airy, they're very like wide-eyed and very I don't want to say this, but they're very manic pixie dream girl. That's what I call it, manic. Yeah, but they're kind of like that kind of character, with the whole like airy, like fascinated about the world. And Anna is fascinated about the world too. It's just she's very you can actually kind of like understand her fascination more, but she's also really more down to earth in that she does things that just seem very normal. Like she's awkward, she's clumsy, she can be stubborn. I mean, it was just I like this kind of character more so than the older princesses because it's more realistic, I guess. I don't know, take my words as you will. It's my opinion, but I really liked Anna in this movie, and I guess the other characters pretty cool, like Kristoff. I guess the ice dude was pretty cool. Olaf though, Olaf was the best character in this movie. The comic relief. Like I just felt like he was just comedy gold in this entire movie. Like he was just if I have if I could do a highlight, Olaf would probably be my highlight of the movie. Even though the movie was like good in general, it's just if I had to like pick like a standout moment, it was probably like scenes with Olaf. But anyways, this review has gone on too long. Um, Overall, Frozen, pretty good movie. I I suggest go seeing it, I guess. So go see it.